Hi and welcome back to my channel. In advance, I just want to say I'm currently sick, so please, just ignore everything around me, including myself. Yeah, I want to talk about appreciation, and I want to start by why appreciation. Why did I want to talk about this topic today? And of course, it's kind of a meme or a cliche that if you're sick, that that will be the time where you start appreciating breathing freely and stuff. And I mean, this is more of a joking way, right, of appreciation, but in general, like even looking at this topic, like even looking at this example, I mean, I feel like humans should appreciate way more. And I think to appreciate more, you have to live in the present more. Because many people, including myself, either live in the past too much or in the future too much. Like they worry about tomorrow, they worry about what happened yesterday. But people really should be. Sorry for my breathing. People really should be looking in the present. And of course, I think not thinking about the future and only living in the present is also a bad thing, because I think you have to look into the future to a certain extent, and of course also live a bit in the past to learn from previous experiences and stuff, so you develop more of your character and learn through your experience. But appreciation is something way more people should actively do. Like, I mean, there's so much to be appreciated. There's also so much to be hated. Like, what I don't mean is to take your appreciation level and go and say, just because I can appreciate the food, I can appreciate my social relationships, I can appreciate my work, my education, life itself, like whatever you want to appreciate. Just take a moment to think about that and answer it for yourself. I also dislike when people take that appreciation, like people who practice appreciation a lot. Like this doesn't have to stop you from wanting better. For example, there's a certain argument to be held, and on this channel I don't want to get political, but to a certain extent I have to. Like, philosophy and politics sometimes go hand in hand. And what I mean by that, on a superficial level, is, especially from the elder generation, at least from my experience, I don't want to generalize, of course, they always say like stuff like, oh, you have it so good now, like back in the days it was so bad for us, and you should appreciate what you have right now. And of course that's true to a certain extent. Sometimes it's just factually wrong, but let's just say it's true in this scenario. But that doesn't mean to want to strive for better conditions or for a better life, either being through politics, of course, or through spirituality, which I don't practice myself, and I really can't relate to spirituality in any way, at least at this point in my life. But I'm also not against it, because I feel like many people who are spiritual also live more in the present than people like I do, which is a good thing, I would say. But yeah, so just I want you and people in general, I feel like we should appreciate more what we have, but also take that as a way to say, "Oh, now we're stopping at what we have." If you get what I mean. So disregarding the fact that things can be better and should be better in many different topics, right? And also things could be worse, of course. But I don't like. I feel like appreciation starts with yourself, and I feel like that's the thing I notice, at least. People don't really do. Like, maybe it's just my own perception, but I feel like many people struggle with self-worth these days, especially my generation. I did too, and to some extent still do, but like, I feel like you can really start appreciating other things when you can start appreciating yourself. And with that, I don't mean like to the extent we're arrogant and stuff like that. Like, always stay humble and spread love and kindness and respect, especially respect, to the people around you. Like, lift others up. Don't be the guy to ruin someone else's day. And just like starting to appreciate yourself, like, just adds so much to your life value. Like if you can't appreciate yourself truly, you can't appreciate other things to the same extent. Because if you're clear with yourself, if you're pure with yourself, I don't know if that's the correct saying. Sorry, my brain is also a bit mush from the sickness. But I'm trying my best, and you should too. Like, your appreciation doesn't have to be only centered around you, right? It can be acts you do, it can be like anything, right? For example, for me, my appreciation of myself pretty much lies in my intellectual capabilities. I mean, not capabilities, that's the wrong word. Just like my intellectual open-mindedness, maybe. Like, there was a point in my life where I felt like I was smarter than everyone else around me. But then I realized I'm not. And also, like, at what we measure intelligence is so different from person to person. Like, I would say intelligence is, to an extent, just a degree of, like, how well you can memorize stuff or pattern recognition, depending on, like, which tests you do and take. But what I mean is, for me, for example, I appreciate myself truly because I don't try to diminish others, and also always be open-minded with my intellect, if that makes sense. But your appreciation also can come from the work you put into stuff, the relationships you create. And sorry, I need to cut this video a bit more than my last ones, just because I'm always trying to blow my nose and stuff. So I'm really sorry about that. But just like living more in the present and appreciating oneself truly adds so much, to get back to what I was saying. Because, like, for example, if I was watching a beautiful sunset, right, and I had no appreciation for myself, like if I was depressed, for example, or any other reason for why I'm sad, the appreciation of the sunset would diminish slightly, right? Like, if I was depressed, if I was thinking of myself to be a lazy, stupid person, I don't know, like any negative emotion feeling towards yourself, which is of course like you're always inclined to feel every emotion possible about yourself, but if it's like a regular occurrence, then that also lowers the appreciation you can like get from other aspects of your life. So I feel like appreciation always starts with yourself and life itself. Like, even for me as a nihilist, existentialist, like, I just want to clarify again, like, these philosophical ideologies or whatever you would call it are always associated with some corny stuff. But from how far I can tell, nihilism and existentialism is the most fitting philosophy I can relate to. But this doesn't take the fact away that you should appreciate life and the work you do and all the stuff around you, especially relationships, like harnessing good, beautiful relationships with other people, friends, family, your significant other, like pets, anything, is one of the key aspects of life, I believe. And I came to realize that now, not very long ago. And yeah, I want you to think about that, to appreciate life more, appreciate anything, to not take things for granted, but also, just to end it on this note, not just because you can feel the appreciation doesn't mean it can't be better, right? So always work for the things you want. Appreciate the way, the journey, appreciate what you have, but also don't over appreciate these things, because there are things that have to be worked on. To not get political, but in any sense, right? So yeah, my timer's ringing, I guess you could say it. My time ran out. I have started a new concept where I will put a timer on for a certain amount of time so the videos doesn't get too long, because the last one was a bit too long, and so this gives me a certain boundary in which a certain time in which I have to talk about this topic, to not get off track too much, because that's a tendency of mine. Yeah. Well, yeah, please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Have a good day. Bye bye.